Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro announced Saturday that 4,500,000 signatures had been collected in the campaign Obama Repeal the Executive Order. Earlier this month, President Obama declared Venezuela an extraordinary threat to U.S. national security. The aim of the campaign is to garner at least 10 million signatures to be presented at the Summit of the Americas on April 10th in Panama City. A recent survey showed that over 96% of Venezuelans reject any type of U.S. intervention. The South American country has also received support against Washington's aggression from many regional bodies, such as UNASUR, CELAC, ALBA, OAS, among others. Ten days of military exercises ended in Caracas on Saturday after tensions with the United States peaked over Washington's aggressions against the sovereignty of Venezuela and its democratically elected government. Around 80,000 troops took part in the massive display of soldiers prepared to defend the country from a foreign attack. President Nicolas Maduro emphasized that his country does not bomb any other country, nor does it have plans to conquer any other nation. Maduro also announced that Russia will soon be sending more weaponry to Venezuela to strengthen its defense forces. In Bolivia, more than 6 million registered electors will vote this Sunday for the 9 governors, 339 mayors, assembly members, town councilors, and judges. In total, close to 5,000 electoral posts are in play across the country. Voting in Bolivia's legislative and municipal elections began at 7:30 a.m. this morning. Earlier today, Bolivian President Evo Morales cast his vote at a local polling station. Voting stations will close at 5 p.m. local time, and preliminary results will begin to be announced at 8 p.m. Bolivia time. Morales and his socialist MAS party won a second term in office by a landslide victory in December. Masked students burnt cars and attacked a police station on Saturday in Chilpancingo, the capital of the violent southern Mexican state of Guerrero. Clashes began when police started to arrest students who were traveling through the city by bus. This led to a confrontation with police officers firing tear gas and protesters responding by throwing stones. Officials reported that various persons were injured, but gave no further details. These protests were in solidarity with the 43 missing Ayotzinapa students. March 26 marked 6 months since the students were forcibly disappeared, while only the remains of one of them have been identified. Strong rain swept through northern Chile, leaving over 12 people dead, 20 missing, and close to 5,600 homeless. The Ministry of the Interior also reported that over 4,400 homes were damaged by the rains and ensuing floods. Officials said the number of victims could still rise. President Michelle Bachelet visited the affected areas, saying that the situation does not look good. Bolivia and other countries in the region have offered humanitarian assistance, but Chile has said the situation is under control for the time being.
As of Friday, we are categorizing the situation as one of normalization. We don't have any kind of shortage of medicine, vaccines, food. The 3 regions affected are sufficiently stocked.
John Kelly is the commander of the United States Southern Command, responsible for all the military operations in Latin America and the Caribbean. He is a regular visitor to Honduras, and during a regional conference, he spoke to the press to show his support for the Honduran military forces that have been accused by the political opposition of protecting paramilitary groups responsible for the deaths of student leaders and political activists.
It has been 2 years maybe since
Ya ha pasado casi 2 años
that I've had anyone say
de que he escuchado a alguien decir
that the government or the military in this country are the
que el
human rights
gobierno
abusers.
o los militares son los culpables de abusos de derechos humanos.
I mean, let's face it, you live in a terribly violent country.
Vamos a decirlo claramente, ustedes viven en un país sumamente violento.
A little over a year ago, as I said, it was the
Hace
most
un
violent
año
country on
atrás
the planet.
era el país más violento del planeta.
The UN numbers then were 91 deaths, murders per 100,000. That's how they figure it.
91 muertes por cada 100,000 personas,
There's
de
been
acuerdo a las
almost
Naciones Unidas.
There's been almost a 30% decline
Y ha habido una
in the
reducción de
murder rate
casi
in
un
this country
33%
in the
de la
last
tasa
15
de
to 16
homicidios
months.
en los últimos 15 o 16 meses.
The opposition, however, continues to accuse the Honduran government of turning a blind eye to the paramilitary groups and directly accusing it of the assassination of 4 student leaders that this week participated in demonstrations against the government. They also say that the United States interference has increased in recent years and that there are no positive results for Hondurans. Since 2009, the murder of political activists has happened with complete impunity, with more than 400 victims. The government blames general crime, even though the official discourse claims that the country is becoming safer. Gerardo Torres, Telesur, Central America.
Rescue efforts to try to locate the second black box from the downed Germanwings plane continued in the French Alps on Sunday. So far, investigators have only retrieved the cockpit voice recordings from one of the plane's black boxes, which they say show the co-pilot Andreas Lubitz locked himself alone in the cockpit and caused the airliner to crash, killing all 150 people aboard. German police say they had found torn-up sick notes showing the co-pilot was suffering from an illness that should have grounded him on the day of the tragedy. Lubitz's unnamed girlfriend said he told her he was under psychiatric treatment and that he would carry out a spectacular gesture by which he would become widely known and remembered.
Das Gefühl war sehr zwiespältig, erstmal man hat's nicht geglaubt erstmal.
I was shocked. It's unbelievable. I feel so sad. It's hard to explain. Firstly, they lost a son in the family, and the saddest thing is that he took 150 innocent people's lives. The family must be sad too. It's hard to accept the fact.
Und der Sohn hat 150
Voting in Nigeria's presidential election continued late into Saturday night after technical glitches and delays. In other parts of the country, voting was extended until Sunday by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The race pits President Goodluck Jonathan against former military ruler Muhammadu Buhari. The poll is seen as the first election in Africa's most populous nation in which an opposition candidate has a serious chance of unseating the incumbent, and widespread fears it could trigger violence are already becoming reality. Extremist groups launched several attacks on voters, killing close to 50 across the country. The second round of French local elections are underway this Sunday as polls predicted President François Hollande's Socialist Party could lose half the departments they currently control. Surveys showed that the right-wing UMP opposition party could win along with its allies nearly twice as many seats nationally as the Socialists and their partners. But while surveys see the Socialists losing 20 to 40 of the 61 departments they now hold, the government, encouraged by signs that the economy is starting to turn around, will press ahead with reforms. Yemeni fighters loyal to the Saudi-backed President Abid Rabu Mansour Hadi clashed with the Iranian-allied Houthi fighters on Sunday in downtown Aden. The health ministry, loyal to the Houthi fighters who control the capital, said Saudi-led airstrikes had killed 35 people and wounded 88 overnight. The fighting has brought civil war to a country that was already sliding into chaos, and which had been a battlefield for the secret U.S. drone war against al-Qaeda. In Egypt, the Arab Leaders Summit announced the formation of a unified military force to counter growing regional threats, including Yemen's conflict. Tens of thousands of Tunisians marched through the capital in a show of solidarity against Islamist militants on Sunday. The support rally came just hours after the government said its forces had killed 9 members of a group suspected of carrying out the March 18th attack of the Bardo Museum that left 21 tourists dead and 1 policeman. The terrorist attack shook Tunisia, a country that has been praised as a peaceful democratic model since leading the first of the Arab Spring uprisings in 2011. Hundreds of anti-war activists protesting against a U.S. military convoy passing through the Czech Republic were met with a counter-demonstration organized by pro-NATO and EU protesters in Prague on Saturday. Both groups carried flags and placards, with pro-Russian flags waved in the anti-NATO camp, and the pro-US and pro-NATO placards held by the EU supporters. Small scuffles and arguments broke out between the two groups, but there were no reports of violence. The anti-war protesters were decrying the NATO drills currently being held throughout several Eastern European countries dubbed Operation Dragoon Ride.
After a number of Egyptian military crackdowns on the underground smuggling operations between the Gaza Strip and Egypt, the Palestinian enclave is once again suffering from a grave fuel crisis that is severely impacting health services. This week's emergency warning from the Gaza Ministry of Health is not the first in recent years. Gaza knows all too well such situation. Before the crackdown on the smuggling tunnels, Gaza used to receive thousands of liters of fuel every day. That supply line has now been almost entirely cut off, with only a small trickle of supply coming into Gaza from Israel. Gaza's doctors reported that the fuel shortage is seriously affecting service provision as hours of electricity supply have plummeted. The lives of kidney patients needing dialysis, those in the intensive care units, and premature babies are at risk.
We got excited last week when we heard that the electricity in Gaza would get better. However, nothing has changed. We are still suffering and the patients' lives are in danger. Our storage fuel is quickly running out. If we want to talk about solutions, ending the Palestinian division will be the first, because it is the key to solving all of our problems.
At the meantime, the Rafah border crossing is closed to medical supplies and to delegations wishing to offer their medical support to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, where medicines are also in short supply. It is estimated that Gaza's hospitals are suffering from at least a 70% shortfall in medicines and other medical supplies. Noor Harazin, Telesu TV, Gaza.
Mexico's national soccer team faced off with Ecuador in Los Angeles Saturday evening, winning 1-0 thanks to a goal by Javier Chicharito Hernandez, who is playing for the Spanish team Real Madrid. The Mexican striker scored the goal at minute 13 of play. Ecuador played well but saw all its goal attempts frustrated by the Mexican goalie Jesus Corona, including a penalty shot. This game was a friendly match in preparation for the America Cup to be celebrated from June 11th to July 4th in Chile.
Facts that have marked the course of history. Productions designed in the English language and made for the English-speaking world. This is Documentary. Watch it on telesur.net/English. Telesur, wherever the news, you'll be there.